Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors. That is really funny. Sorry, I went right in out of the intro. So I pulled up the transcript from our Corn Stars and Jelly Beans episode, and it picked up our intro as being, join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tank camping to rock landing. And I'm just thinking about how much better our show would be if we could camp out of tanks.
Yeah. Man, would you imagine like offloading our tanks off of our flatbed and camping around Grayling? They would be so fucking pissed.
Right?
Hey, we'd have A-10s overhead, fucking.
Oh, dude, fucking tank camping is the one time I think that rooftop tents would be okay, because a rooftop tent and a tank would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would change. I mean, there's people that do plane camping, so why couldn't we start a tank camping club?
Yeah.
Well, cost is one thing, but
they're only like $100,000. Like,
Depends
you don't
on which one you go for.
Don't you just keep that in your back pocket on like a normal Friday?
yeah, right. For $100,000, you can get an Ineos too, like a fully built out Ineos.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Let me set this business card aside so I can remember to email this person, because I would like to get them on the show.
Mm-hmm. I think you should just put a down payment on an Ineos and be the Ineos guy.
Well, as I alluded to in a bonus episode last week, I do have intentions of buying a new truck. I'm just not going to talk about what it is yet.
Mm-hmm. Ineos.
That is
Grenadier.
So an Ineos sits at about $89,000 as starting price, I think is what it is. And I'm looking to spend closer to 20. So that is significantly higher than what I've got.
Well, if you use the 20 as a down payment, then it's only like 60.
Do you forget that I don't have a credit score? Like it's shot, like destroyed.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we could do payments for you. It's gonna be like $2,500 a month.
It's like,
and then your insurance, your insurance is gonna be like,
God.
you have
God.
a what?
My insurance went down, so I mean,
in Grant, in Deer Central.
When I bought my J truck, my '73 Jeep J4000. Mind you, in '73, the VIN numbers are shorter than modern day VIN numbers.
yeah.
It took us 3 weeks to figure out how to insure it. And mind you, this is a truck. So I was getting insurance from USAA, and I had my loan for that truck from USAA. But they couldn't figure out how to insure it for like 3 weeks. So they just gave me like a blanket insurance to cover that in my Mustang for 3 weeks.
Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like USAA is just like an old people's insurance group. Like when I hear it, I know it's for like military, but like, isn't it? Yeah, it just sounds like one of those infomercials on TV where they're like, all right,
because it is.
Are you 50 years or older? You may qualify for USAA life insurance.
You know, that is actually kind of how the commercials go, except
I was about to say.
Was your grandpa in the Marines? Then you might qualify.
Yep.
They just want anybody. I should get a hold of them because my grandpa was in the Army and my wife was in the Navy. So.
Dude, don't. USAA insurance sucks. Like,
Does
it? So they screwed me really bad. When I came home, I bought a station wagon and registered it and insured it here in Michigan. And the state needed them to send in proof of insurance, and they didn't do it. And I didn't get a notice about this at all until I got pulled over 6 months later and found out that my registration was terminated.
Yikes.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then I had to call USAA, and then we proved that I had insurance. So the cop was like, well, go home, but just know your registration is terminated. So I lost a really cool custom plate that said, it was like something WGN, because it was a really cool Buick station wagon. And yeah, I lost my wagon plate because of it. I was kind of pissed.
We might need you to post pictures of this really cool Buick station wagon.
Dude, Roadmaster wagons are sick.
Was it the old Roadmasters? Like the
it was
ones?
Like a 94 with an LT1 Corvette engine in it?
Oh, I'm thinking of the like Woody ones. Didn't they have like big blocks in them?
No.
What?
The best one you could get was the 94 with the LT1.
I thought they had like a... I don't know about Buick. I thought there was a wagon with a big block in it.
I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
But no, the 94 Buick wagon, it was the way to go, dude. I have had quite a few Roadmasters in my life, but the wagon was my favorite.
Huh.
Here, I'll send a picture. I don't have a picture of mine readily available, but I'll send a picture of one to the group chat. Oh, God, what?
Nothing. It's
That's a stock one. I mean, mine was mostly stock. I like them with different wheels on them.
I always liked the Volvo wagons. Those ones, I liked the boxy Volvo wagon. Oh, are those what are those called? I don't even remember.
They're like a number.
Yeah, it's like a VL something. VL 240.
God, someone built a Woody NASCAR Buick Roadmaster wagon.
You.
No, it's not you. This thing is sick, dude. I don't know how you don't like wagons. They're the coolest cars.
I love wagons. I don't like that body style.
So you have bad taste. Got it.
No, you don't even. Don't start with this again. We controversies.
My first car, or my second car, because my first car was an 83 CJ7. But after I totaled that, my second car was a 93 Buick Roadmaster. So I have, like, this deep love for these cars. That one wasn't a wagon, though. That was a sedan. God, this NASCAR wagon, though, this thing is sick.
It is sick.
I don't know, man. I think you just like odd cars.
Dude, I do like odd cars. That's fine, but...
I like odd cars too, but my odd car likes are different from your odd car likes.
Yeah, well,
I like boxy odd cars.
I like those too. I like all cars except for crappy cars like the GMC Terrain.
I think looks wise they did okay on it, but functionality wise, I don't know about that.
No, I think they did great on functionality with the GMC Terrain. I think that for what it was intended to be, which is a car for Bridget to pick her kids up from choir practice, it's fine. It's a great car for that. It just isn't necessarily a good off-road rig.
Well, rig being the key word, it's not a good rig. No. Is it good for getting to state campgrounds and taking forest roads? Yeah, it does just fine doing that.
Compare it to, like, your wife's, what is it, a Honda or whatever?
Yeah, or CRV.
Compare it to, like, your wife's CRV. In that category, it's a pretty good car.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, that CRV is so much fun to drive. That was so nice.
That's got the CVT, right? So you never feel it shift?
I feel a shift. But that could be because I drive it like a race car. I was racing a Duramax the other day on the way to... He was being a D-bag. Those Duramax guys...
Oh, they're the worst.
The cat-eye Duramax guys with the big fucking, like, 4-inch pipes. Like, we're sitting there on the expressway, and I'm going probably, give or take. I'm not telling you what state I'm in, because on the expressways... The limit is super high, right? It's like 95 is the speed limit here. Yeah, I was going like 85, 90. And this Duramax was just not happy that a CRV was outgunning him, and he just all you hear is just him trying to get up and pass me. Oh my god, I was like, I just barely pushed out the gas pedal and edged him back out. I'm like, calm down, don't let your little wiener get a hold of you. It's crazy. The Duramax guys will do it next to me on stoplights too, and I'm like, I'll get them on the stoplight, and then they'll speed up because they realize that it was a race, and then I just keep going. And then I have to slam on my brakes at the next light, and he won't look at me because he lost. He's in shame.
On that one, that's a good transition into weekend recaps. Gavin, what did you do last weekend?
I raced some douchey Duramaxes all the way to... there was like 2 of them, man. God damn.
Were they both cat eyes?
Yeah. One was white, and the other one was like a rusty black one.
I bet you... I think that what it is that the price of cat eyes is getting low enough that D-bags can afford them.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But I went and took a...
Especially if they were Carolina squatted previously.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think these ones were just rusted out, so they were just probably had a natural rake on them anyway.
Oh, I just know cat eye Chevys were squatted trucks out of all of the squatted vehicles.
And for whatever reason, the cat eyes naturally sit back. My hindsight here, my dad drove a cat eye for a long time, and they are just god awful, dude. Like, it would squat with the lightest amount of weight in the back, and he added all these little suspension helpers to make it support his horse trailer.
Yeah.
And it just... They look amazing. They're very comfortable daily drivers. They're terrible in every other category.
Right.
Yeah.
They sound cool.
They do. They sound like jets.
But I'll still say this. I'm not like a huge Ford guy, but like I feel like the 7.3s are just the best sound as far as everyday diesels.
I would say the 6.7 is the best all-around sound. 6.7 Power Stroke. But the 7.3 with a hood stack and a big turbo with a wicked wheel in it, by far the best sound you can get out of the 7.3.
I see, maybe I'm more of a purist in that, but this is more of a memory for me too, because like I grew up on going to my grandma's horse farm, and she had like I want to say it was like a 96 with a 7.3.
Yeah, no, you're definitely
something like that.
Maybe you just haven't heard a hood stacked 7.3 with a proper built turbo.
I don't know. I think there's a limit to just being too loud to where it's obnoxious.
So honestly, the volume out of the hood is not much different than the volume from behind you.
Then I would be okay with that. But my memory comes from just being like having them warm it up in the morning on the farm. You hear it starting up, and it's just, and you come out there, and it's nice and misty. All you smell is cow poop and then diesel. Man, it's just core memories.
So the way that the 7.3s worked, because they didn't have any like resignators or mufflers or anything, they were always straight piped from the factory. So the sound coming out the back is about the same volume as what comes out the hood. The only difference is when you floor it, the sound coming out the back is muffled because it's going behind you, whereas the sound from the hood is in front of you and you hear it more.
Right. I don't know. Looks wise, I would prefer it coming. Yeah, looks wise, I think I'd prefer it more coming out the back. But I'm not saying I don't like hood stacked. I'm not saying I don't like it. I just the way that I would drive like the OBS, I would have it pretty dang stock as far as the normal body goes, and then just have a small lift with some nice tires on there. But I wouldn't do much more than that to them usually. I wouldn't like throw a big old fucking turbo and hood stacks out either side.
So just for longevity and drivability reasons, you really, in today's world, you need a bigger turbo, period, and you need injectors. if you're buying one that's pretty much stock injectors are trash. They will absolutely roach the 7.3. At about 250,000 miles, it'll just go boom. Trust me, I did that once.
Yeah, I don't know what they did. That thing got up to like 3. I don't know what they did to it, but they got up to like 350 or 60,000, and then they ended up selling it. But they had it from 96 and used it as a hay hauler until I think the 2015, 14, something around there. Then they used it as just kind of a normal hay truck, and they had a I want to say an 05 or 06 Ford a diesel that they used for hay hauler after that, or trailer, horse trailer hauler. And that one just kind of, it was just kind of the farm truck that pulled hay wagons and shit around.
I have had 297s, one crew cab short bed, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. Best truck I've ever owned. Absolutely never should have sold it. Then, and that one was big injector, stock turbo with a bully dog tuner. Nothing crazy. That thing got almost 30 miles to the gallon with that 5-speed, though. Absolutely wild for a truck that size.
Yeah.
Then I had my crew cab long bed, which was an automatic, and that was big injector, big turbo, new gears. I don't even remember what all we did to that truck. I blew it up and then just went nuts. It made like 500 horsepower.
Huh.
That one was hood stacked. And then I had a bunch of IDI. I've had so many OBS Fords, it's not even funny.
Yeah. I think they're beautiful vehicles.
They are.
My dad had a 95 manual, but just a gasser. And he drove that. He would drive every other weekend from Traverse City to Lansing to pick me up. And the amount of money on gas that he spent was crazy. But that truck would just go and go. Like, he had no issues with it. He fucking hit some black ice on the way back from dropping me off one weekend and just barely tapped a car that had also slid up. And then he got out of the truck, and then as soon as he got out, another car behind him hit the black ice and then totaled hit the back of his truck so hard that it rear-ended that car again, and just totaled his truck. So from then, he's had Chevys. Yep. 90, I think he had a 94 after that.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Gavin. I totally interrupted you telling your weekend recap.
Yeah, man, you got us all fucking distracted. But no, I made took the wife's CRV to help save gas and made the nice 2-hour, 30-minute trip to basically, I think it was basically Ann Arbor.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
for distance.
It's about that area. Met one of our guys from MST, Casey, and went and picked up a winch. So went, got the winch, talked to him a little bit, and came back. Got back, I think I left around 8 or something. Came back around 12:01, and so I am Gucci, all set. I just have to get a couple more bolts from the store. I have to find some winch, like the mounting bolts for the winch to the plate, and then I'm good to go. I just got to mount it up.
When we putting this bitch in?
I don't know. I was thinking I want to take a flap disc to the plate and then just give it a couple coats real quick. It's got some rust and stuff on it. Nothing crazy, just surface rust and little bubbling on the paint. So I was just going to take a flap disc, kind of clean it up a little bit, give it a couple coats, and then once I find the bolts for it, whatever day that I'm actually not working.
Right.
And that you guys aren't working. So probably one of the Friday nights.
Yeah. And
then we're set, and I'll be all set up with a winch, man. And then I can finally stop calling people for help when I get stuck.
I'm pretty proud. Both of you are making that big step, getting winches on your trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's just one of those things, man. Like every time I've gotten stuck, like that most recent time in the Muskegon area when I was trying to help that person out, the ghost. The
ghost.
Yeah. I got stuck that day, and it was I would have been able to get out so easily if I just hooked up to the tree next to me and just pulled like 6 inches. That's all I would have been for me to get out.
Right.
And that after that, I was like, okay, this is stupid. This needs to become a priority if we're going to do more solo stuff. And so the roof rack took a little bit of a weight, and I just figured I mean altogether I have, with the winch included, the plate and the winch, I'm only at like $400 right now for everything. So
that's not bad.
For the mounting plate, for the winch, and then with gas, it was probably like $40 in gas to go to Ann Arbor and back.
Well, plus your gas to Chicago.
Yeah, that was only like same. It was a little bit more. It was like 50, but because it was her tank is only like 10 or 11 gallons. She gets like 28 miles to the gallon. So
for my whole winch setup, I think I was at like 550, because it was 300 for the winch, 200 for the bumper, and then 50 for the flat link. Worst purchase I've ever made, but
flat link, yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
Which one do you have?
Just the Factor 55 flat link.
Okay.
The one that doesn't have a hook. It's not the Ultra hook. It's just the flat link. And the reason that I hate it so much is that no matter what you're doing, you have to be able to use a shackle to connect to it. Right. You can't just hook it to something and pull. So it's just an added step, especially when You good, Mark?
I broke the chair.
Oh no! Oh, chair down.
No.
I don't dare do that. And this Sienna's nursing chair. The thing is cheap Amazon chair. When I get in it, it creaks. I'm like, no. The less I move, the better.
But yeah, so it's fine really on the trail. I don't have too many issues with the flat link, but I use it at work a lot, and having to run a soft shackle around a piece of equipment to a D-ring to be able to winch on it is really annoying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see that. I was just curious why you didn't like it, and that's a pretty good reason. I'll be looking maybe to get a hook at some point, but I think for now, I don't use it like you do for work or anything. The only time I would use it is for recovery. So right now it's just the synthetic loop on the line. So I would just have to put a soft shackle on it, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you've just got the metal hook on the end, or the metal loop.
Yeah.
You definitely should add a hook of some kind. I actually have a hook here.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, Dan.
Now I have my factory hook.
Oh, yeah. Because I was gonna say I was looking on Amazon too for just a hook. Maybe someday I'll get that Factory 55, that one we were looking at. But
the Ultra hook.
Yeah, I mean I technically have the money now, but I've been trying to save it. So
yeah. But that's a good spot for Mark to tell us all about his weekend.
Yeah, pretty good weekend. Like I said, we did beer night. Me and Alex did. Well, it was kind of fun.
We had brats that were questionable, but they were delicious.
Very questionable. Thank you, Brian. If he listens. Probably not.
Who knows? No one listens to us. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's where you guys got
Saturday,
sick. Fucking hot. The brats got you.
Well, my wife was
that's
sick,
what
too.
I told him.
My wife was sick, and she wasn't there.
Sick. Yeah. And then we had range day. That was fun. Really did my shoulder in.
I definitely missed the range day. I wanted to go really bad.
Oh, I know you did.
But
I know you did.
I was like, the night before, I'm like thinking about what I had to do the next day at work, and there was no possible way for me to get all my work done for the day before range day.
Yep.
And I ended up getting done with work like 40 minutes before Mark came to my house after the range day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Yes,
but I'm sure we'll probably have more than just that one.
Yeah.
Probably better weather than cold.
Yeah, well, it sounded like it was a success, so.
Oh, it was. It was really good. Had 6 max, maybe 7
people,
which was fine where we were at because it wasn't like a great parking area. It was a very small pull-off area from the normal trail.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So it was just the right amount of people to be there for where we were at.
Well, shoot, 6 people shooting guns at the same time. Yeah, that's plenty. I had when I had my diaper party before I had my son. That's what we did. It was kind of a range day. Instead of like for guys, if you don't do this, when you have a kid, guys will have something like a diaper party. It's like the same thing to women's baby shower, but for dudes. Yeah. And we went out and took our shotguns, clay shooters, any guns we had, and had a little barbecue. People brought diapers, and we shot some guns. And I came home with a back full SUV of diapers, and it lasted us for like, I don't say 4 or 5 months before we actually had to buy diapers. So that saved us a shit ton of money.
Dude, diapers are so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every 2 weeks I have to drop $60 on a pack of diapers.
Yeah. It's expensive. But
I don't even have a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
I just gained a kid. I didn't have a kid. I just gained one.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It just dropped on him.
That's how it always works, man. That's how having a kid goes. You just, one day you don't, one day you do.
No, you got 9 months of dealing with this kid growing. I didn't have that. Just one day I get a call. Hey, I'm going to drop my kid off. And then he never left.
That's the same thing as having a kid. That's Sienna's like, hey, today's the day. And I'm like, all right. So it went from her just having a big belly, because like it doesn't really register that there's like a child in there sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, and then she has it.
How does it not register?
It's like
she was never that fat.
No, she wasn't. You know that, but like the thing is like there's one there. But it doesn't really hit you till you're holding him. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Is like until he's out, it doesn't really hit you that you have a kid until you're holding him and he's just crying in your face and peeing. Like,
I would definitely have taken that crying in my face and peeing and being able to ramp up to the 3-year-old rather than just suddenly having a 3-year-old.
Dude, I wish I could skip to 3, dude.
No,
I wish I could skip.
No, you don't.
No, dude, I mean I do. I love it when he starts learning words. Like, he knows he'll be like running around the house. He'll be like, "Oh yeah!" Like he just knows that all of a sudden.
Do you know what this kid did to my chair this week? So I've been working a lot. I was sick like all week, right? And he wanted to play games on my computer while I was sick, dying in bed. And he shredded the arm of my computer chair because there was a small scratch in the leather. So now all the stuffing is out on my left side. Like, here, I can show you guys, but the listeners can't. Oh, maybe I can't show you. Do you see that?
Dude,
oh, geez.
Do you see what he did to my chair?
I've done that.
Like, just gaining a 3-year-old, dude, he's so destructive.
Oh, my kid, we have to take the knobs off the oven because our kid will get on top of the little there's a little handle on the bottom of the oven for the what do they call that? It's not controversial to popular belief. It's not extra storage. It's actually
the broiler.
Yeah, the broiler. Yeah, he'll stand on that and then he'd go and try to turn the oven on.
Actually, I think it's the proofer.
No, you're right. I think it's broiler.
Well, no, because the broiler would be like if you have a double oven.
It's
the
in the
bottom
oven.
half. Yeah, the bottom.
But I know some use the bottom for like
noisy.
proofing of bread and stuff.
I don't know. Someone boost in and tell us. But
yeah,
he'll get on the handle and then he'll go and turn the knobs on the oven, So like all of a sudden I'm like, why does it smell like gas? I look over there and the oven knob's on. I'm like, Jesus, you're trying to kill us.
Dang it, we did it again. Mark, keep telling us about your weekend.
We're good. I was getting there. And then I am starting to work on my nav setup. But I'm not going to officially talk about all of that yet because I need to get more of it put out. But I did a very controversial upgrade.
I glued a map to my dash. Very controversial.
We should do that.
No. So most people, especially second-gen Tacomas, usually get their giant 12-inch, now I think it's the biggest one they get, smart tablet head units. I'm deciding not to do that and went with a single den instead.
Yeah, took his factory radio, which is already a double din out, and replaced it with a single din.
Yep.
Why? Is that to be determined to come? Is that one of those things?
It's to be determined, but my thing is, and Alex has agreed to this, is that one, I'll be limited to whatever software updates are limited to that head unit at the time without upgrading to a different head unit. Yeah. So, also a lot of the head units have issues where they take out the AC controls for how big the unit is, and the AC controls don't work at all.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I guess we can talk about it. We just don't want to share pictures yet. But the big thing is that, so he kept the single or double din space, right? So the single din takes up half of the space, and then we put a mounting surface in above that radio, which will give him a spot to be able to mount a GPS unit and a tablet. Which the benefit of doing a not built-in tablet is you can take it out and go sit at the campfire with it. In 3 years, when it's so outdated it doesn't work anymore, you just go buy a new one.
Yeah.
And then the GPS, because they're sick and they make life a whole lot better.
You know what would be cool is if they made I think the Amazon tablet that I have, it's basically a Amazon tablet inside of a screen, or inside of like a unit for it. Because I have kind of the flat screen thing too. I took my radio out and put that in.
Oh yeah.
But it's basically just a tablet with extra goodies that has all the hookups for my radio.
They're always lower, like the Andriod units that go in the doubled-in spots. I love them. I've used lots of them. I have one in my 442. I've had one in most of my trucks. But they're always lower spec than a similarly priced tablet.
Oh, absolutely. And this one that I have, it's like the one thing that I don't like about it is that when I start the engine, it actually has to it auto starts the application for it's like a Z-Link, it's called, the application to actually hook up to Bluetooth and everything. Which gives me like CarPlay and everything, which is nice, so I can get into Spotify or my Audible while I'm on maps. I could switch to Onyx, so that's really cool. But what would be really cool is if in that space you could just have a mount that you could quick release your regular home tablet onto, and have like a hookup just to hook up your. Alex is smiling. Am I doing something?
No. Okay, finish your story and then.
Oh, I'm just saying that it would be really cool if there was like a hookup that hooked everything up to your radio, and you could just put your tablet in that space.
Right.
Then if you wanted to take the tablet out and fuck around at camp, you could just take the tablet out of it. But
so I love this idea, and it's actually a thing, but it's usually for the iPads, the iPad minis or whatever. Right. The problem I have with that plan is that you're almost restricted to a certain tablet still. There's a company, at least for OBS Fords, we talked a lot about those. I'm a big OBS Ford guy. I've had about 10 or 11 of them. So there's actually a dash kit where your single DIN radio mounts slightly back farther into the dash, and then it gives you a spot to be able to slide an iPad mini in, and it all auto connects to the dash or to the head unit and everything. and makes it look like a touchscreen in that spot. But you can slide it out when you want it out. So, I mean, what you're looking for exists. It just, I mean, it's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be cool, because then at that point you could still upgrade tablets. You know, if you had a 10-inch tablet, you could just upgrade to another 10-inch, or, you know.
Yeah,
but not that they get that big anymore or get that small anymore. But
no one likes to stick to a standard size anymore. So every time someone comes out with a new tablet, it wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
So
I will say that the one thing I do like about this other one too is because it's basically a tablet with hookups for a radio, I can connect it to Wi-Fi and upgrade the software in it. I mean, obviously the hardware is another story. Right. You know, when that gets old, and it's one thing, but
and not only that, usually those head units, they don't do Android updates, right? So let's say it comes with Android 9, which is super outdated and you should not be running it. Anyone running Android 9, you should not connect that device to the internet, period.
No.
Don't do it. Your data will be stolen in a way that could hurt you very bad. So that's where they tend to fall out, is a lot of them are stuck on like Android 9, Android 8, sometimes Android 6. Whereas if you do a tablet, you're going to get a couple Android updates before you then have to upgrade the tablet. And usually you'll upgrade the tablet because the hardware is so outdated that it can't keep up anymore.
I wonder how that works. Yeah. When I plug my phone into it, it basically like plays the screen on my phone. Like it has my same background and everything. So is it basically just playing the screen that's on my phone anyway? Would that be, I don't know, software wise, I don't know, would that be kind of like having my existing software I have already? You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but since it's already mirroring my phone screen.
If it's just mirroring your phone screen and not connected to the internet, you should be fine.
Right.
The problem comes when you're trying to run internet apps directly off the in-dash radio.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
So like it does have that
option,
if you log into your Google account on your in-dash radio that's Android 9, well, Android security on Android 9 has been, defeated at this point. So anybody on the internet that wants in there has an easy route in. Whereas if you're on a modern Android operating system, which I don't even know, are we up to like 16 now or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
But if you're looking at Android units, I see 13 and 12 for Tacomas.
Yeah.
Red units.
So if you're on a modern version of Android, well, they're still updating it monthly, which is keeping your security stuff in check.
Mine is
that whole security update thing is part of why I kind of left smartphones and just went to a flip phone. So, I mean, judge me all you want, but
no, I don't mind the security update issues, but my tablet does have the capabilities to log on with Wi-Fi. I don't do that though. It auto launches the Z-Link, which basically is it's a CarPlay app basically, and it mirrors my screen, my background, and all of my apps on my phone. So
our goal with Mark's setup is for it to be able to run Onyx independently from his phone, so that he could literally just toss his phone in in his glove box and forget about it for a weekend.
Leave it in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yep. That too.
So, I mean, I think it'll be really cool. It'll be a very different setup from what you normally see.
100%.
And really, if you think about it, so a lot of people add those, what are they, MAMs? Or what's that thing over your radio? A MAM, a multi-axis mount or something like that?
On mine?
Yeah. That little metal thing over your radio.
Yeah. It's just a bracket for any kind of.
It's the same thing. It just doesn't cover any controls.
Yep.
I will say
sure it's above the stereo.
I actually like having that there, so I can run two different things at once. So Like, it's really nice on my main screen, the bigger screen on the actual radio. I'll run Onyx, and then I will run like All Trails or Google Maps or what's the other one, Gaia, while we're doing trails, so that I could see, like, you know, Onyx is going to tell you one thing, Gaia might tell you different. So having both of them to look at while I'm doing it is kind of nice. And then while Onyx is pulled up, because it hooks up via Bluetooth, I could still just pull my phone out. Everything will still be hooked up. Take a picture, do what I need to do, put it back on. So I do like having that mount there, but I do also see what you're saying too.
Which, I mean, he'll kind of have the same thing, because he'll have a tablet and a Garmin Drive Smart. So he'll still have two forms of navigation visible. Completely excluding his phone.
And I could do 3 if I wanted my phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sienna sits in the driver's seat with the tablet that's logged into my Onyx. So she'll use the Onyx saved maps while we're driving, cross-reference where we're at and everything. Like, that's what we did on Poker Run. While we were driving, she was referencing on the tablet, telling me where to turn. So nice. It was like having Rally Nav. Easy right, easy right.
I was so out of my element on Poker Run because I wasn't in my truck. 2, I didn't have any of my, like, I didn't have my radio. I didn't have my navigation. I had nothing. Like, I was so out of it, dude.
Yeah, speaking of radios, gotta get that back from you, buddy.
Oh, my new radio? I love my new radio.
No shit, you've had it for like 2 months now, so.
I do realize I left the spare battery in the center console. I gotta get that from my mom.
Rude.
Yeah, sorry. I have the radio, but I definitely forgot about the spare battery.
At this point, I better just buy a new one. I'll never see it again.
But yeah, Mark's setup's gonna be pretty cool, man. It's definitely different from what you normally see, but I think that it's gonna be different in a good way.
Yeah.
If my 3rd gen had a radio slot that was slightly higher on the dash, I would be copying it. But since I don't, I just struggle. And
your center was a little wider too?
Yeah, I can't fit anything on my dash, dude.
So it's not a weekend update, but so you guys remember the Botches Yearly where I made that little voodoo thing for that looks like a little I carved that little doll thing for Jasper.
Yeah.
Well, you know, after that weekend and then a couple days later, he pretty much stopped playing with it and he moved on to bigger and better that weren't wood toys. He liked having a wood toy while we were out there because there was nothing else, but so I actually took that, like Alex and I were talking about. I had drilled a hole through the bottom of it and threw it on the shifter, so it's my new shifter knob now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's taken me a little bit to get used to, like, but it still feels good on the hand. It's just a little higher than what it was before. I pulled into a Wendy's the other day, and a guy goes, "Oh shit, is that a manual?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "Oh, here's your burger." And I'm like, "It's still a cool car just because it's not manual."
You probably should stabilize that so that it lasts longer than like a few months.
What do you mean?
So that because you carved that out of what, pine?
I don't know. Sure. Whatever wood we had.
I'm pretty sure it's like a pine. So you should put it in a resin, and then that way it stabilizes the wood, and the wood actually hardens and becomes more like a rock than something that'll wear over time.
Oh. Yeah, I did kind of like the idea of it wearing over time, but...
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, having it, like, round off a little bit from all the use, but I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
Did you put a nut? Did you put a nut in the bottom, or did you just shove it on the hole?
I drilled a slightly smaller hole than what the shifter was, and then literally just threaded it on. It works fine. It's not like you can't pull it off of it, with any amount of normal force. Like, I was just gonna like glue it on there, but I'm like, I want a little bit more removable than that. And I was gonna just get like a thread cert from my bins at the hardware store. But then I tried it just to see if it'd work, and then I tried yanking it off there. I'm like, oh, this bitch ain't moving. That's a lot of extra work for nothing if it ain't moving already. So you'll have to see it. It's, but I think I will either like stain it or throw like or some kind of clear coat on it or something just for extra protection or a little bit. Yep. But I don't know if I want to. I think I'm too lazy to actually take it out and do some like resin stuff with it. Yeah. I guess what I could do is just take it out, take a torch to it, burn it, and then sand it and be good. That's what they used to do to stabilize wood. They'd burn it to harden it, and then they'd sand it.
Yeah, but okay. Well, my weekend update. The trailer now has a pintle hitch on the front. Mm-hmm. It took a lot of grinding to cut the crappy mount that the farmer had welded on it back in the 60s. But we have it all ground off. We welded on a new adjustable, removable pintle hitch, and it is just about ready to start being pulled. I still need to wire it.
Is this the Botches off-road trailer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Just double checking. I figured it was, but I was making sure you weren't talking about a different trailer.
No, the Botches off-road trailer is making big gains and is really moving along at a pretty good pace.
Dude, you got to get a stencil. Does that have the on where the pintle hitch is? It got that big fucking like bracket there to actually connect to the trailer? I was gonna say get a stencil and spray paint the Botches off-road on the side of that.
We're putting the Botches.
We already talked about that.
We're putting the Botches logos on the front of the fenders.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be cool with one of those old military lettering style Botches off-road.
We got that going too.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You'll see. So we're gonna do the Botches logo is gonna be spray painted on the fender, and then it's gonna have the military weight, like how much the trailer weighs, and the tire pressure, like what PSI the tire is supposed to be.
Oh, okay. At. So you're still gonna do it. Okay.
It's very much so gonna follow the old military. We took pictures of all the military markings so we could copy them back on.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the one that was for weight, we're gonna change it because we took a generator off. So the trailer's going to weigh a different weight than what it was when, that happened. So we're going to take it through a scale and weigh it when we're done building it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. I bought that cheap Amazon tire pressure gauge. The little nuts that you can throw on your tires. It tells you the tire pressure and temp of the tires. Or the air in it, I guess.
And temp?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, anyway.
So I bought it. It was like originally $60-some. It was at a flash sale for like 23 or 28. I was just like, fuck it. And so
a little suspicious about that deal, but okay.
Yeah, well, I got it. I got it in, and it was just one of those Amazon flash sales. They'll have those that are like 56% off or something like that.
Oh yeah.
No, I know, but I feel like half the time it's a price hack before they actually sell you to the normal price. And you just get it for normal price and you find out that's what
it could have. It could have very well been, but even for 23, if that was the normal price, I would have been cool with it. And so I went and got that and put it up. It's got like 3M sticky things that you can put on your windshield. I got it down by the dash, and then on the other side of the plate, so that has two strips with the 3M that goes on the windshield. Or wherever, and then there's actually a little solar panel on that other side on the windshield so the sun can charge it.
Yeah.
Or you can it'll actually slide off of the mount, and then you could just charge it with your car too. But
how much did you say it is?
It was like $28, something like that. Yeah. Well, no, it was like 60 something regular. It was like on sale for 20 something.
Is yours the Gear Go or the Tymate?
I'm not sure. I can go look.
Check his history.
Check my order screen here.
Because now I'm curious, and there's a lot of them, ranging from like $25 regular to $70.
Tymate.
Tymate what?
Tymate TM8.
Okay, yeah. So regular, that's about 30. So that's not a bad deal.
But yeah. So I got that. Put that on and then actually checked it, and temperature was right on. I don't know why I need to know my tire temp in Michigan, but it's an added feature. And then
I think that's more racing related for tire temps.
Yeah,
or towing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But I will say that the tire temp is exactly like right on to a 1 degree difference, and the tire pressure was so 31, I think, in my tires is where I think I was at.
What are you comparing it to?
My gauge on the compressor.
So we know that your gauge is not accurate.
Well, it's like 2 off, but it's not that much.
That's about right. It was like 2 to 5 off. I discovered the electric ones seem to be off compared to the actual normal gauges.
Yeah, that's something that really annoys me. If I can find a good electric one that's actually accurate, I'm going to spend the money on it because that's annoying.
I like my analogs.
I mean, I like analog, but I like being able to just clip on the electric ones to just get a quick read too. Yeah. But it's only like 2 to 3 psi off on the knobs too for that same thing. So it's really not that far off either. But I haven't tried deflating to see. I should have done that today, but I kind of slept all day. But I've been sick too, getting over that.
Yeah.
So,
well, with that, we got 8 minutes left. Let's give a week update. I'm not Alex anymore. Alex died Monday night, and now I am a ghost of him.
Same with me. I'm not the original Mark either.
We all got sick, but you guys got sick in a different way than I did.
Dude, yeah. And it was so weird. So I came home from work Monday night at like 4, and I was fine. Like, nothing was wrong. I felt perfectly normal. I went in the shower to wash up all the turkey stink, because, it's turkey stink. And about halfway through my shower, I felt like I was going to pass out. So I just hurried up, got out, went to bed, and I slept from like 4:30 till I think I woke up at like 7 or 8. And if there was an orifice on my body, there was stuff coming out of it. I mean, it was terrible, dude.
Yep. I know all about that.
I woke up Monday morning and I was completely fine. I got down to the job site about noon when my stomach was like complaining, like, "Well, I guess I won't eat lunch because I just can't handle it." I ended up puking 4 times on the job site, and then when I got to the workhouse, I was in the bathroom constantly.
Yeah, I had the most wild fever dreams Monday night, dude. Like, I had trucks sitting at the end of my bed talking to me. Like, that's how bad it was. And, like, not any trucks that I own. And I'm not going to share what kind of truck it is because it's the one that I'm looking at buying and I don't want to jinx it. But it literally, the point where the bumper starts, where it looks like there's a mouth on the truck that's smiling, that's where it started talking to me, and there were teeth, man. There were freaking teeth.
It was like Cars. It was like Cars animation. He's like, "Why are you so sick, bud?"
But it had absolutely no eyes. It was scary as hell. And it was telling me the location of trucks that I should buy. And it was weird because the next morning I woke up and I had at some point browsed Marketplace and saved a bunch of these trucks.
Yeah, fever dreams, man. They'll get you. God, I had when we went to Great Wolf Lodge, what was that, about a month ago or so?
Yeah.
I went and got tacos at a pretty nice restaurant, honestly. And I don't know what happened, but that night it was just like what you guys are talking about. Like, it just boom, all of a sudden I'm sweating. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh shit. And it's just like run into the bathroom, and then I just like every orifice, man. And then I went to bed, and the next day I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, but it was over that night. It was just within a span of like the whole night. I went from fever to puking to shits to fevers to shits to puking, and then I woke up in the next morning, and my asshole's like, help, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
But I never had the shits. I just started peeing out my asshole.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean,
Same.
I'm with you too. Sienna's like, what the fuck, dude? We're in a hotel room.
Most violent piss I've ever had, but it did not come out of where it should have.
Oh yeah, dude. It was like,
yeah.
Man, you ever piss everything that you've had, and it's just within the 3 seconds that you sat down, it's just, and it's all gone. You're like, all right, well, gonna baby wipe that up and go on with the rest of my day.
Yeah, I don't know what, and I'm still recovering. Like I was. Yesterday was still pretty bad. I was still pretty dehydrated. Today, I've still got a dehydration headache, but not as bad as it was yesterday. I only worked like 4 hours yesterday. I didn't, and yeah, I mean it. God, dude, I don't get sick like that a lot. I'm pretty scarred. That was emotionally exhausting.
Oh yeah, dude. And then he's my dumbass. And then I woke up the next day because at that point, I started kind of feeling icky at the restaurant. Just like I got full really fast. Yeah, got full really fast, and so out of the 4 queso birria tacos that were there, I only ate 1. So there were 3 more.
That kind of
so
sounds like food poisoning, dude.
Yeah, so I took leftovers, and then the next day I was like, dude, there's still queso birria tacos. Like, I spent a lot of money on these. So I ate 2 of them. and then like an hour later, I was back in the bathroom puking and shitting. I was like,
that's food poisoning.
All right,
100%.
I was like, so I unintentionally gave it to myself again because I was like, I know these were good when I ate them, and then I ate them
when I ate them.
Yeah, and then when I ate them again, they were cold, and I was like, these kind of taste like shit now. And then, so I didn't even finish the second one before I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw this in the garbage because these aren't anywhere near as good as they were. And then I shit you not, it was like 30 seconds to a couple minutes later, I'm like, yep, it must have been the tacos. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Monday night I was pretty sure I'd gotten COVID again because it felt like the first day that I had COVID back in 2020. Or 2021,
I was about to say
2022, whatever year that was.
Yeah, it reminded me when we both got sick that one week and we hung out with snowmobiling at John's place. We all came back and like everyone was sick. I went to the hospital dehydrated.
So yeah, that was 2019.
That was before COVID.
I'm pretty sure that it actually was COVID. Kaylin,
I agree with you.
Kaylin was in the ICU for a week and a half from that. Whatever that was.
I heard whisperings of COVID when I was working at Farm and Home. A nurse actually came up, and he's like, and he was buying all the masks that we had. Yeah. And I was like, it was kind of weird. Like he had his like scrubs on and everything, and he goes, yeah, there's a lot of people getting sick. I have a friend that works at a really nice hospital in New York, and she's saying that something's coming. And I was like, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, he said that everybody's sick over there, and something big is coming. They don't even know what it is. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's kind of scary. And he was like, yeah. And then I kind of just went about my day, and it was just like whatever. Like some people just say shit like to say shit, and yeah, it was like a couple months later, like all of a sudden the fucking pandemic just hit. I was like,
so kind of into the conspiracy side here. Do you remember in 2019 Michigan banned vape flavors and all that because kids were dying, quotations for listeners, kids were dying because of vapes.
Yep.
And there was all that stuff going on because there was all that vape disease and all that.
Popcorn lungs.
I am 95% sure that vape disease people were getting was COVID-19 because
I could see that.
The dispos that were getting popular at the time are assembled in a factory in Wuhan, China.
Oh.
Where did COVID-19 start? Wuhan, China.
Yep.
Then, after doing some research, there are quite a few employees from the lab that COVID-19 was built in that also work in vape assembly plants.
Huh. That's interesting. So I was so when that was happening too, it was funny. I didn't go to that side of the conspiracy with it, but I was going to the other side where there was a bunch of kids buying. So if anybody doesn't really know much about vapes, but there are, disposables, and then you have like your regular mods, then you have like the disposable pens, or like the refillable pens, and there was a lot of e-cigs.
E-cigs.
Yeah, like e-cig type style, and then there was a lot of kids that were actually, if you know anything about the weed stuff, they were buying like the wax pens, and a lot of people were buying those pens, and apparently they were buying cartridges.
Cut with
like the
vitamin E.
Yeah, or because people were making them in their basements.
Yep.
And they don't have the readily available chemicals or quality control or the real mixed measurements that you need to safely mix it, like the bigger THC companies that actually make it in factories.
Also, by the way, as someone who worked in a vape store and did a lot of this stuff, I can tell you that even those big stores, I'm covering my hand like I'm whispering into the mic too, guys. A lot of those big companies also were cutting them with vitamin E acetate because it was considered safe. But vitamin E acetate, your body cannot process it, and then it builds up in your lungs, and you die.
Yeah, so a lot of kids were saying they were getting that popcorn lung, and then after they were doing more testing and doing more interviews, it was coming out that a lot of them were actually just buying black market. I say black market because it's not the regular market, but buying THC carts from some old dude in his fucking basement, and then they're getting really sick, and these are kids, so they're afraid of getting caught, so they blamed it on e-cigs or the regular nicotine. So that was like the other half of the whole vape thing too. People.
That definitely happened, but I think that because adults started getting it too, and I'm pretty sure that there's with it have it at the time period that happened, and it had the exact same symptoms of COVID-19, and then with a month of us getting through all that, COVID-19 started.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense too. I think it compiled. I really do. Because people, there was no testing for COVID back then, so nobody knew what was happening. They just knew, hey, well, this kid was vaping, and he can't breathe anymore. There's a bunch of shit in his lungs. His O2 sats are down. So, I mean, they were just working with what they had. Unfortunately, they weren't working the right way.
That, and especially here in Michigan, we had a lot of reason to ban vaping because we were getting paid for cigarette deaths. So that was a big part of it.
Oh, yeah, cigarette, not vaping. But
right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because
man, that sucked because that was right when I was train chugging vape juice. Like,
oh, dude. I stockpiled when they announced they were going to start doing that. I stockpiled like 7 months worth of juice, and it was kind of nice because for 7 months I didn't have to buy juice, but it was over in like a month and a half. So
that 1 month that I didn't have it, thankfully my buddy Aaron, one of his friend actually hand makes it.
I was doing that too.
And man, dude, he had the best mixtures. He had like a blueberry that was so good. So I would just ask Aaron, I'm like, hey man, it was way cheaper than regular juice too, so he would just grab me some.
I used to make a super bomb straw nana. Oh my god. And it wasn't like a candy straw nana. It was natural strawberry with natural banana. So it actually tasted like a straw nana milkshake. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, it's the first time I've heard of the term straw nana.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was just interesting term. Straw nana. Interesting.
Yeah.
But,
so
hey, man. On that note, we're at an hour, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dead on.
All right. Yeah, man. All right. Well, see, you even got a little conspiracy in it. You guys are welcome. and
vape content. That's something we don't talk about a lot.
Yeah. No.
Probably doesn't help that I don't vape anymore. So
yeah, neither do I.
I stopped and then recently just got back into it, but I'm not gonna stick with it for too long. I just kind of right now it's just a crutch to get me along.
I'm a huge proponent for vaping. I think that it's a thing that honestly helps a lot of people quit cigarettes, and it's really enjoyable. I got really big into the hobby side of things, but with this whole dispos taking over the world thing, it is almost impossible to get the stuff I need for my rebuildable RDAs.
Oh yeah.
So I just kind of quit because of that. It wasn't a choice. It got hard.
Yeah, for me, I think it's vaping is always supposed to have been a way to quit cigarettes and not really an alternative. And at some point, it came into an alternative. And not that I don't trust the chemicals, but anything that you're inhaling or putting into your lungs for a long period of time like that is going to have a negative effect in some way or another. And so I mean, it's obviously not a good thing to do. And whether it's safer than cigarettes, we don't have enough data, but I think it is.
We definitely have enough data.
Well, we didn't.
There's data.
I mean, long-term data where we're talking 40 years, but we don't have that.
I know what you're getting at.
We don't have the 40-year data, but we have short-term to 10 years, and the amount of chemicals. Right.
So 2007, almost 20 years.
Yeah, that's a little bit better now.
People that are vaping your traditional vapes are not having any problems. The people that have problems are on dispos. Saltnik is the worst thing for you.
So I'd like to see a study come out with people that are doing mods versus dispos, but not like Saltnik, because I'm at 6 milligram. I don't know. I don't think this is Saltnik. I think it's just the breeze. Is it?
It's Saltnik. Yep.
But I'd like to see, because the amount of hits that I take versus what I've done on my mod is way less.
The reason that it's so much less is because your body can't process the Saltnik, so it gives you a bigger high. It gives you a bigger buzz, so you need less of it. But because your body can't process it, it ends up making you sicker long term than what the freebase does.
Yeah, but I wonder what the difference is with the amount that you do freebase.
Right. The amount really doesn't matter that much compared to the type. Also, with a Saltnik device like a Breeze, that's what we call mouth-to-lung instead of direct-to-lung. Whereas with a mod, that's generally a direct-to-lung. You're not going to get as big of a hit with a direct-to-lung as you would a mouth-to-lung, because it has time in your mouth and down your esophagus, then in your throat, to give you a buzz. That's why people with Breezes need less. Personally, I prefer the direct-to-lung. It's more refreshing to me, but I need to hit it more often.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do too. I love my mod, but I was also getting to a point where I was hitting it more than I was breathing. And I mean, literally, I would be sitting there gaming or watching a show, and every time that I would breathe, I'd just have it sitting up by my mouth. And every time that I would breathe, I'd just push the button and hold it. And it just sounded like Darth Vader.
If you had ever been to my house 6 months ago, there was a constant fog through my entire house. You can ask Mark. Now, part of that is you probably weren't using the right type of, everyone's got a different type of atomizer that's good for them. For me personally, a mesh RDA is the best way to go. I need less hits from a mesh RDA than I do from any sub-ohm. Sub-ohms are the worst. That is the absolute worst way to vape. The most common way to vape with a mod, but the worst way. RDAs, they're the less common. You got to actually drip them between each hit. But you're going to get a better, more consistent hit off an RDA. So it takes less juice.
Yeah, I think the extra work with the RDA is the reason I didn't want to do one. Like, just being able to throw a new coil in every month or so.
Dude, I didn't even do that. With an RDA, you need a new coil like every 3 months.
Well, I mean, I said one month as like probably when you should do it, but I waited until it tasted like burnt popcorn before I changed mine over.
With a sub-ohm, I changed it every 3 days. So if you were getting a month, you could probably get a year on an RDA coil.
Yeah.
And an RDA coil is like 10 cents compared to $10.
Yeah, but don't you have to like wrap your cotton and everything with it?
You just got to push the cotton through a coil.
Yeah, you got to like braid your cotton a certain way, and you got to like
just got to
like put it in there and screw it, and then you got to like you got to like braid it like your daughter's hair.
To do that,
you got to braid it like this to get even coverage, and
to do that once,
do all that shit.
To do that once every 3 months is not bad. But I also ran mech mods, so I was getting 8 volts all the time through.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I miss my mods so much. I wish I could find coils because I would totally start rocking it again.
Yeah, I had the Geek Vape mod, and for what I was using it for, it did fine. I mean, like I just didn't want to do all that. I just wanted to be able to just, because it's nice, you can just take the tank off, pop a new coil in, fill it with juice, and you're done. You don't have to worry about anything else. And I never really had issues with things until
I've got like 20 mods, but my favorite, I had a Purge side piece, which is like a $250 mech mod that is basically impossible to find now, and I absolutely fucking love it. And then I've got so many I can't even list them all, but I've got a lot of expensive mods.
Yeah. Well, we just added 12 minutes of vape talk on that. So on that note, guys, we'll talk to you later and enjoy that vape talk, I guess.
Yeah. Later.